What's good, beautiful people? This is The World According to K. Nels. I am yours truly, K. Nels. This is a special Father's Day episode of the podcast that we're calling This Part of My Life is called Fatherhood. I wanted to bring out a 3-part series. I wanted to make sure I touch on every generation that was intentional, because I feel like it's very important that we have the necessary conversations as it pertains to community. And, you know, to quote the great Michael Irvin, we losing recipes. You know what I mean? So we got to make sure we save as many of the recipes as we can. And the only way we do that is just by really bridging the gap between us and the generations before us. And for us, as the millennial generation, it's very important that we wrap our arms around the generations to come. So this was just, you know, my idea of just bringing some men together that I love and respect to just have some conversation. As I said before, this is a safe space. But we just going to continue to build and go from there. Just to touch on a little etiquette from here, me and your camera is right here. Right. So whenever you want to engage the audience, you can look at that camera right there. Y'all too could look at that camera right there. Okay. And obviously, we could always look at each other because that's capturing a wide shot. Just wanted to break that down. Other than that, I'm going to start off by, of course, allowing my guests to introduce themselves, starting to my immediate right.
Lester Weaver Jr., no Carnell from high school. They just call me Weave or Coach Weave. So that's it. But 54 now. Yeah. And me and my wife been together. It'll be, matter of fact, our anniversary is coming up the end of this month. Going on a cruise. We'll have a good time. But we've been together to be 29 years. Our oldest just turned 27 back on the 8th. And our son, he's 22. Yeah. So, we've been in the game for a while when you talk about fatherhood. So.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate that.
Pleasure. I'm glad to be here, too, as well.
No, thank you. Thank you. First thing he said, I hit him up. Hey, yo, Weave, I need you to come through. He said, man, is that the 14th or the 21st? Because if it's the 21st, you SOL, baby. That's the anniversary. I'm on the cruise. But if it's the 14th, we going to see what we can do. Nah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.
Marcus Mullins, met Colonel, 8 years ago?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, been a great guy, outstanding. I always admired you as a young person. Yeah. Yeah, and trust me, it's hard for me to tip my hat to a young person these days. It's hard for me to tip my hat to a young person these days. But no, I joke, you know me all the time. I remember 52. Yeah, I remember that. I turned 72 last Sunday. Yeah. Been married 46 years. I got a soon to be 45-year-old son. Okay. About to get promoted military. Got 24 years on his belt. Most of the time in the Marine. Reserve or Marine and Army. Okay. So promotion come a little slower. Yeah. When you on that reserve side, but he's been on orders for the last couple of years. He actually will get this promotion to E7. Okay. He's been striving that for a minute. That's next month. So tip of the cap to him. Yeah. And I got my younger one. He'll be 35 next month on the 6th. Real studious kid. He's still trying to navigate his way through life. But, you know, he got a strong support mechanism. He gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. He just spin the wheels in the mud, so to speak. Hard to get out of the mud. But roadmap. Love my children, man. Love my son. Very proud of both of them. That's what's they both wear the pants around their waist. Can complete a sentence. Ain't no pistol hanging out of it. That's all I needed, dog. That right there, check them 3 boxes. I'm good. Go ahead.
I appreciate you, Mr. Mullins.
Benjamin Frazier, a.k.a. Pops. Met this young man, 2004, 2005. Yeah, 2004. Went to school with my son, rest his soul in peace. But I was honored when he called. That's something important to me is raising children and being a father figure to the community, period. Takes a village. And just knowing that you, Mr. Weaver, as Man, that choked me up because he used to come home and always talk about you. He said, "Hey, Pops, you got to meet him. Mr. Weaver be sounding like
Bernie.
back." And I got a kick out of that. So it's an honor, man. I really truly appreciate you thinking of me in that manner because you've always been a nephew to me.
Yeah, nah, I appreciate that. Speaking to community, I think I'm gonna start the conversation there because this part, I mean, I don't believe in coincidence. Everything happened for a reason, but I think all three of you have been not only fathers but coaches in some capacity. And so, how does that talk about that dynamic a little bit? Being both a father, being a coach, and how coaching in many ways is being a father to like 20 kids that ain't yours. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that in reference to the importance of community. And I'll start with you, Weave.
All right. Well, for me, I mean, 29 years in teaching. I coached for 10. And I guess I always taught from the same way I coached. And that was from my weaknesses rather than my strengths.
Gotcha.
And then when I approached the kids from that same angle, I always felt it important to always be genuine with them, to always be fair, and always be consistent. That was kind of like probably the most important thing because there's so many kids I've come across in my teaching career, my coaching career, that home wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
Whether it be mom, whether it be dad, but you know they need that consistency so they can have some foundation.
Yeah.
And I always took that very important, I guess also because of my own upbringing.
Yeah.
I knew my father, but he and my mom were two young fools when they got married. Mom's was 19, Pops was 20.
Yeah.
Within 3 years, they already divorced.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm with mom and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I knew Pops, always a part of my life. But because of some of the things I dealt with being the oldest and I'm the only boy out of 5 that grew up in the house with my mom, I've got 4 of the sisters through my dad. It's just certain things that were built in me to take care of my younger siblings that then it fell over and followed with me as I got into teaching, as I got into coaching. Sure. And so it's definitely important because everybody doesn't have the same home foundation. Correct. Definitely not a consistent home foundation. So as much as I could, I played the role as teacher, uncle, big brother, dad to some, as best I could, friend. And for a lot of them, and that's still how I'm today, and it's not received as well societally, but I'm still one who believes in tough love. Because if you just keep pacifying and coddling the kids, we know from the old school, it just sets them up for problems. But that was really always my approach, to be as real as possible with them, to be consistent, to be fair, and show them love, but let them know it's tough love. Hey, we got something to handle. When you walk in this classroom, when you walk onto this field, when you walk onto the court, we got an objective. We can have fun, but never forget the objective. And as long as you're there, we'll be fine, because you can take these lessons with you anywhere in life through sport.
Absolutely. And what sport did you coach?
Football and basketball and track. When we were in Ohio before we moved here, I coached track, football, and basketball. Once we moved here and I got to Stevenson, it was just football. Until I decided to gracefully walk away. I'll just leave it at that, because I always get in trouble when we talk about that topic. I gracefully walked away. We'll leave it there.
Mr. Mullins.
Okay, thank you. Well, I go back, currently even, my wife and I doing, particularly in our early 30s, she started working, I'm fast forwarding, but in our early 30s, we both, she was employed at one of the local Boys and Girls Club, and I always been very close to my children and stuff, so my sons obviously hung around the Boys and Girls Club, and the reason I'm telling this coaching story is just as the Atlanta was awarded the Olympic Games, excuse me, in '94, I think they got awarded, but ACAR reached out to youth organizations in the city, Boys and Girls Club being one of them, Parks and Rec being another, because they knew they had access to all these children. So they recruited a young man. They wanted to introduce like 3 non-traditional sports.
Gotcha.
At my club, it was judo. Another club, it was team handball, and unfortunately, I forget what the third sport.
Yeah.
Long story short, at the club, my kid, where my oldest son, the 45-year-old, he was 8 years old at the time, and he was just so excited. I just never seen my kid just grab it. They never been the ball players and the ball bouncers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he jumped all over this. And so now I need to see what the big whoop to do is. So I go to the club one day, and the instructor's there. He handing out judo gis, and man, when I tell you, like 70 kids, ages 8 through 16, 6 through 16, with these judo gis, and they jumping and swinging at each other and kicking at each other, about to hurt each other, and they just having fun. So long story short, Stephen Alphabet is a young man named, shout out to Steve. Right now, he actually has 2 dojos in Oahu, Hawaii. He really stayed with it professionally, turned it into a very thriving business with the help of the kids he helped coach at the Boys and Girls Club. But long story short, what led me there, I'm the one of 5 or 6 male parents that showed up every day, and hey, look, I don't know nothing about it. Get out here, just make them sit down. You know how to make them sit down. Let's start with that part. Saying, I'm teaching the judo. I just need somebody to corral them.
Yeah.
So from that grew to me learning, me coaching, and fortunately, man, we was able to drag. We drug these kids around to about 25 states playing judo between the time my oldest was 8 and the time he was 18. Fortunately, a couple times he finished second junior nationals. Had a kid to be Olympic alternate. I want to say Mark Fletcher is his name. Actually, he teaches. He works at APS now as a school teacher. When we met him, he could barely read. Actually, we recruited him out of the bathroom. He had some kid jacked up in the bathroom. True story.
Recruited him
True story. This is no flow. You know, and we, hey, you need something to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And we gave him something to do on the judo team, and he struggled. And when he found out how serious it was at work, he actually quit. And then he saw us jetting out, this, that, and the other, getting on these planes. All of a sudden, he wanted to come back about a year later. So Steve and I backed off and talked to the kids. Hey, y'all, Mark wanted to come back. Of course, they all friends because they go to school together. But we left it up to the kids to let him back. Well, he can come back. He can come back, but they made him pay some dues. He had to do 300 push-ups. He had to do 300 sit-ups. Had to do 500 jumping jacks the same day. The same day. Had tears in the eyes, not running down the nose, but he got it done. So he made a commitment to not only to the kids, but to himself.
And that's the biggest part.
And he ended up growing to be one of our elite players.
That's what's
He's
up.
the one that ended up being, but I can go on about that. I don't want to hijack the segment.
It's all good. It's all good. Appreciate you for sharing that.
Mine, I guess I have to give you a storyline of what brought me into coaching. As a child, I lost my father at 13, so me becoming a father I had to learn this through trial and error. You know, I had to visualize or see something or just the little bits of when I was young. But after losing my father, you know, we didn't know anything about mental health back then in the days. You just put ice on it.
I was ready to say,
drink some water. Drink some water. You know what I'm saying?
Rub some dirt off.
Yeah, they didn't know anything about that. So, you know, I had to go through the hiccups of life. And got introduced to drugs and alcohol, thinking that that's the path I should be taking. And you know, my father was my Superman. And to lose him and nobody tell me how to cope with that was rough. So as I went through life, you know, I had the hiccups. You know, I most likely not to succeed out of high school. I got in high school my freshman year, and I stayed kicked out. I had to go to an alternative school.
Yeah.
For 2 years, for those 2 years, 10th grade and 9th grade years. And this is why I got into coach, because I was in the gym one day, couldn't play basketball. I was a baseball player.
Yeah.
And I could just stand under the basket, jump up, tomahawk dunk.
Yeah.
Couldn't dribble to the basket, couldn't shoot a jumper.
Right.
And the high school coach saw me, Tony Johnson. I give credit to this man today. I wouldn't be where I am today without this man giving me a chance.
Yeah.
He came to the alternative school to get me. I went to school on a half a day on the agreement that I wouldn't get in any trouble, I wouldn't do any wrong. So, I was challenging for a young kid that had no direction.
Yeah.
But this coach and the track coach and the girls track coach, strong black men in the community. And you ain't not gonna challenge these guys. These well-built men.
Correct.
So I had to have that discipline in order to play basketball, and I wanted to play basketball. So I spent probably half of the summer in a gym learning how to play basketball with one light on and a pass back and coach.
Yeah.
And coach was not only showing me how to learn something new, but to channel that loss, that lifestyle that I was living that was heading me in the wrong direction into a different path. And so as I began to turn my misery into joy and that guidance that I didn't have, he showed me a way. And eventually I went on to college, least likely not to succeed. The dude who was picked to succeed was flipping burgers. I went to college, had the privilege of traveling the world, playing overseas. So all of that inspired me to be who I was as a coach. So I took these kids and I took the worst of the worst, the ones that nobody wanted to take the time out for. You know what I'm saying? So somebody gave me a second chance. And that inspired me to just be that example, to walk that walk and talk that talk. I just didn't want to go out here and say, okay, you come off the street and not have anything to provide for that child. And he could go and hustle a couple of bags to make $1,000 in 2 days. No, you had to give them some substance. So I tried to give that to them, and having BJ at 23 inspired me to do more, to be a better man, just like your brother was speaking. It did something for me. And that right there was the greatest joy. So being that example to those kids, showing them that even though you were voted least likely not to succeed, they don't write your story. They don't write your story. God had a plan for me. I had to go through something in order for someone to look at me in that way. And I don't regret any of those journeys because those are some of the best lessons I ever learned in life. And I look back today, man, and I just salute Mr. Hickman, Mr. McBride, Mr. Johnson, and there was 3 officers, Don Sluter, Mr. Pettit, and there was Mr. Hawk. These are 3 officers. One caught me with some stuff that I wasn't supposed to have. I was a young kid, 8th grade. And they could have put me in jail for home invasion. And I had no clue I'm hanging with the wrong people. Man took me to the front door to my mama. I would have rather spent the time in jail. My mom got through baptizing me. Back then, you got one from mama.
It was still legal.
Daddy got home. Oh, yes, sir. Daddy got home. Oh, I got another one. And it was one of those things where it made me reflect on life, man. I'm like, I'm still here. After all that, there's so many times I could have OD. Could have went to prison because my senior year, right before I went to college, got into a fight and I had a Mike Tyson. And ended up stabbing this young man. And they read me my rights, man. I was just bawling, crying. I'm like, dang, my future's over. I was 175 pounds. I couldn't have survived in no prison. But I didn't spend a day in court. I didn't have to get an attorney. and it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Now, when it don't make sense, that's when it's God. When it makes sense, you in the way. You in the way. So I salute those men for being surrogate fathers in my life, man, and that's so important. Like I hear your people every day talking about, I don't know if I could do this, and you had a kid.
Yeah.
It's not that kid's responsibility.
Right.
That's yours as a man. So I just, those kids help me stay the course. Yeah.
That's why community is super important. And one thing that all of y'all touched on was a sense of community. I feel like largely one of the challenges that our generation have as millennials and going forward is we don't have the same community. And that's why it's good that, part of me doing this is about building a tribe, building a community, because you made your mistakes, but it was a community in the sense that wrapped their arms around you. Mr. Mullins, you provided a community for so many, speaking to that young man that willed his way into a different direction, and the same for you. And so when you think about it, we was having an earlier conversation about how as Black men, we don't have a margin for error. Like
a whole lot of second chances.
At all.
Yeah.
And so anytime that we get some, to your point, is that we got a greater hand at work for sure. At work for sure. In that, I want to ask, how has your community, and y'all kind of begin to touch on this, growing up was so different. I got almost 3 generations right here, 3 different generations. And it's like, community was so different then. How did the environment you grew up in help to shape your approach to providing the communities that you all ultimately were able to provide for the kids and the lives that y'all touch as men and as fathers?
Let me start with that one. And the reason I want to start, because I'm obviously the oldest one in the group, but being the older one, I was born in 1954. So I'm a Black man, born in the South, raised in the South, pretty much in the heart of the civil rights movement. Everything here, I was born here in Atlanta, so everything I see here in Atlanta, I revert back to my childhood, how transient people had come in and tried to put their stamp on things and change this. My wife and I, we joke when we were growing up, old Fourth Ward was Fourth Ward.
Yeah. It was just
so we tried to figure out when it got old. when it got old in the last 10 years. It was always because my older brother, bless his heart, passed away. His wife actually lived on Andrew Avenue. The first job I had a job where I actually got a check and paid FICA and them kind of folks. Was at Georgia Baptist Hospital, which is the well started, they shut down and stuff that the city trying to right there on Boulevard or something. I was in the kitchen, washing pots in the kitchen, and went there. I was fortunate enough, I was pretty studious in high school, got out a little early where I could run over there, catch the bus, get over there at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and they getting dinner together for the patients. Yeah. But I regress. But the changes that I see looking back, how the opportunities for us as a community, particularly the opportunities that's available for Black people here in the city of Atlanta. I don't want to say there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to take advantage of opportunities, but I will say they're there for the ones who want to take advantage of the opportunities. Because there's some magnet about our city that's still bringing people here because they've heard in Atlanta this, is in Atlanta that. And when you talk to people from other major cities, particularly the Northeast, upper mid Chicago, New York, places like that, and they get here and they see people that look like them, that's living a certain lifestyle, that's got a certain job, that's carrying themselves, and places to go that's owned and operated by people that look like them. You build a sense of pride. But I'm concerned that the younger generation may be taking a lot of things for granted because people pay dues. People pay hell of a dues. People pay dues with their lives, basically, and livelihoods to try to cut a better path. And sometimes when things come easy, and I think one of you all touched on it earlier, if you know what they say, if it was easy, what? Everybody be doing. Everybody be doing.
Absolutely.
So you can't show up at that spot and demand $25 an hour, and you got minimum education, you got minimum skill set, you got minimum control of your vocabulary. So you get minimum wage. I mean, it's all. You know, it's real simple.
That's right.
It's real simple. Don't make it hard. Don't make it nobody else's fault. Because as I alluded to a moment ago, the opportunity is there for you. But you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And opportunity, particularly in this city, is there. Touching on a little bit, and I'll let Coach Weaver speak. My wife, right now, we both kind of we joke about how we've been raising other people's children for the last 35 years.
Absolutely.
But she works for Upward Bound right now. My wife and I the same age. You know, she's passionate about what she do.
Absolutely.
She come home every day frustrated, mad, but she still show up. She still show up the next day at 72 years old.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, she's healthy. But our mindset and our work ethic, because unfortunately we got too many young people, and it ain't all their fault. But until you know better, you don't always know how to do better.
Absolutely.
You got to see better to do better.
Absolutely.
So we, and she in particular, like to put kids in front of people who can give them opportunities. Over the last 5 years, she's probably gotten 50 kids hired through various entities that she's partnered with at the Atlanta airport. And that's just to a short list of the things that she's accomplished. But we have to have that community.
Absolutely.
If people like my wife and the circle of supporters that she have and networking partners that she have, then that's another hole that's been taken away from our community, that our kids don't get a break.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave it.
For sure. No, appreciate you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
I'm just glad that you because you remind me so much of my coach. He's the same age as you are. And he's done so much in my life that community is everything. Without community and that support, I mean, you can only go so far. And I've always been a firm believer that that wisdom that you get. I used to always love to sit on the stoop because my father was born in 1914. He met my mom when she was 24. He was 51. That my father is back there. So to sit on the stoop and listen to these elders share and embark, I was always a sponge. It helped me so much. But when I lost that, there was that separation. And who do you turn to
Right.
at 13?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. I don't know how to get to Adams Street. I wasn't driving. So when you get that opportunity and somebody takes the time to, I think he risked his job coming to the alternative school to get me.
Yeah.
And I think to this day, we talk regularly. To this day. I've been removed from high school 42 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for them to show up at my 50th and celebrate with me was huge.
Yeah.
It made me want to grind harder, for both of my boys.
Yeah.
And now Suge is about to give me a grandson, man.
Yeah.
I got 3 granddaughters. And 3 Who's the girl dad? Bruh, man, I was listening to your stories and I'm looking at my grandkids. These ain't my babies. These are my grandkids. Bruh, how do you do it? Man. And so that opportunity just to listen, that was one of the greatest attributes I learned. And you don't learn that early in life, trust me.
Yeah.
When I reached my late 40s, early 50s, listening became one of the greatest attributes I ever had. And listening to my kids, my boys, BJ, taught me so much about a world I didn't know. And I always just looked at it and think it was crazy until I listened. And when I listened, I began to grow. I began to evolve. And people don't understand growth and evolving are 2 different things. You can't have one without the other. So, but with that comes pain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy, when you start evolving, pain exists. And growing isn't always beautiful. Growth isn't always a plant coming from the earth. It's a lot of pain. And I always tell somebody, you look and you marvel at the tree, but you want to ask the tree something, you got to start with the seed.
Yeah.
You got to start with the seed because everything that exists came from the dark. There wasn't no light down there, but then it comes this massive tree.
For sure.
All right, so I just I thrive on that.
Yeah.
Any chance I get to be in the presence of an elder, that's man. When you stop learning, you might as well dig a hole in the ground and just crawl in it.
To that point, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm smiling because when you gave that part of your story, it reminded me immediately of my father. When my brother and my younger brother, it was 4 years between us.
Yeah.
And so he would come home from work and, hey, what y'all do today? What you learn today?
Yeah.
You know, that was that. What y'all learn today? Nothing. And he looks at
Wrong words.
well, why you just to stay in bed, son? If you want to learn anything, why you ain't get up out of bed? And, as a child, you don't always, because this is that abstract thinking that you got to try to figure out what he really means.
Right.
And when you 10, 12, 8, 10 years old, it don't register. But that's immediately when you said that would make me smile because now I get it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm old enough to get it. But he always, basically you wasted your day.
Yeah.
How did you go through the entire day and did not learn anything?
Yeah, that's. I want to share this very briefly. 2 things. The first thing, to touch on what you said, it's an African proverb that says the abandoned child will burn the village down to feel the warmth. And so when you talk the power of community, if your community didn't wrap their arms around you, those people that you named, again, just metaphorically speaking, you would have burned down that village. You would have been all of the bad things that we have to look for in our communities. And not in no fault of your own. That's the part that's why these conversations are so important. Because in many ways, life just dealt you a hand of cards that you had to figure out. And in that figuring out, sometimes it's a fork in the road, and all of us is just one bad decision away from. So that I wanted to just emphasize that point because that's what you experienced was the opposite of that. The community ultimately You could have been an abandoned child, but it was a community that wrapped its arms around you. And that's why, like, even now, like, you hear the term YN so much now, and you see the ski masks in the summertime and stuff like that. And as much as we don't like the caricatures of what it represents, those type of people don't, when I see kids like that, I just wrap my arms around them, and metaphorically and physically if they need it, just because I already know the programming that creates that outcome, even more than they know. I got a nephew. My nephew, he be ski masked up on IG, all type of fingers. I'm like, well, you wouldn't hurt a fly, but relax. But and that's not his intention. It's just it's a learned behavior. And so in that though, that's the importance of just always, we got to be able to create community. To me, that's the key to everything. And obviously that community starts with the family, which is a whole nother conversation we probably don't got a lot of time for, but I wanted to say that. And the second point I wanted to make to what you said, Mr. Mullins, my mother taught me a very, very valuable lesson about what almost the same exact sentiment that your father expressed. My freshman year of school, when I was in Maryland, this was just before we moved down here, I was up in Maryland, and we was going to a school using my grandmother's address to go to a school out of the district. So, you know, you go in the environment where you got all your friends around. Now I'm at a school with 1,700 students, and there's only 72 black and 40 of them my cousins. You know what I mean? So it was a culture shock in general. And so we live right across the street from the school. I would show up the first block, so I'm marked present, come home. You know what I mean? Like I was checked out. And my mother is not the one that allows for that type of behavior under any capacity. So even though I didn't really think of the consequence, I knew they was there. And fast forward the first semester, we get our report card. I failed every class, like literally. And the strange thing about it was I was shocked. I was like, every class? I heard that. But so my mother was the type, I already know I'm about to be in trouble forever. So I'm like, I'm gonna get ahead of it. I'm gonna just call her. So I called her. As soon as I got my report card, I got home, I called her and I'm talking to her, and and I knew like it was gonna be ugly. So I'm trying to mitigate it. And she listening to what I'm saying, and she like, everything you're saying sound like excuses. And her approach was different. So already that caught me off guard. And she said, as upset as she was, she said, I don't care if that teacher walk into class and don't say a single word to you. If you leave that class, haven't learned anything, that is your fault. Your education is no one's responsibility but yours. You got book, you got pen, you got paper, you got everything that you need to learn something. If you put it in somebody else's hands, you're always going to be at the mercy of somebody else. And she gave me a Chinese proverb that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And she said, make everywhere you go your classroom. Don't wait till you check into school. Everywhere you need to be learning and following it. And so to that point, those principles are universal. That's why I work for your dad and how he communicated with you. And fast forward, 30 years after that, 40 years after that, in my childhood, my mom is still telling me the same things. And it resonated the same way, because from that point on, it completely changed my outlook on everything. Then I always tell people, at that point, I became a seeker of information. So school wasn't school for me. It was just a place where I could extract some information and go on about my day. And that's how I fashion my life now everywhere I go. Like, part of these conversations is selfish, because I get to extract information that I can ultimately pass on, because that's the philosophy I live by. As you earn, give. As you learn, teach. So everything I learn, I try to impart in everybody that I come in contact with. But these things are universal, so it was good to hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I mean, because literally as I'm listening to people talk, I'm hearing and I'm seeing kids' faces and names. And not realizing sometimes, it's a lot of young men and young women that I've come across in my 29 years, that they tried to fight it, but then they always come back around at some point and they give you that pat on the back, like, thank you for pushing me away from this group of people. Thank you for pushing me forward where I didn't believe. So just listening to, everybody speak at the same time, some faces and names popped in my head, even some kids who just graduated this school year. And weave doesn't show the emotion I used to when I was young in my teaching days. I mean, you knew if I said you were one of my knuckleheads that I had you. Well, I still got them. I still call them knuckleheads, but I'm a little more standoffish these days because they're just different. And I hate to say it that way, but the kids will backstab you. They'll backstab and try to get you in trouble so fast now. Rather than hold the line and so you got to be careful, like not to, definitely get to the community question, but this is probably, it was just before COVID. No, it was after. No, it was just before. I'm teaching econ, which of course is a senior course. You have to pass it if you want to graduate. Custodian comes in my room one day after school. Hey, Weave, I don't know these kids, but I was cleaning the hallway and there were 4 young ladies standing around a locker, and one girl said, well, I got Weaver next semester for econ. If he tried to give me an F, I'm going to say he was trying to mess with me sexually.
Wow.
You don't even have my class yet. But because everybody knows the standard what Weave is, you come in, you do your work, you make sure you ask questions.
Accountability.
You be consistent, you'll be fine with Weave, but most folks are scared. And I immediately went to the principal and said, hey, listen, Mr. Moore just came and told me this. I want you to know now before we get to next semester, because that's not me. That ain't gonna happen. But
my standard is my standard.
It is. And having high expectations, again, going back to what we said, the very first question and listening to everybody here, kids need that. And to jump right into the question about community, a lot of that for myself, I guess I can compartmentalize my life. Started off with just straight family. My mom then, after she divorced my dad, married Air Force. So then it came through family and being an Air Force brat. We lived in England for a little while.
Gotcha.
I'm the only black kid in the school. All the kids want to touch my hair. I don't know not to say no yet. We ain't there yet. We come back to States, go Indianapolis, my mom divorced. It was back to family. And then it was me looking up to my older cousins. And then we moved to Florida. When we got to Florida, sports, the Boys and Girls Club. So when you said that, it was another thing. Things just popping in my head. But the strong men and women at the Boys and Girls Club really gave that community, gave that same level of consistency, of high expectation, of no excuses. And I got to say that also helped me to understand and not be fearful of a man's voice. Was watching some a day or two ago, and they were talking about how most young men who grow up in a house is just with a woman. They hear a man's voice because they've learned how to handle or ingest a man's voice from a woman's perspective. It's a threat.
Correct.
Right.
But because I went to the Boys and Girls Club, Coach Bobby Wilds, Coach Willie Newton, Coach Early Williams, and you heard those voices, and it was never to beat you down.
Correct.
And if they beat you down, they lifted you back up because they were coaching.
You knew the motive was love.
That built, and that was through that sense of community. And then, so again, like I said, when I got to college, there was a community because we were all on scholarship together. But then when I started teaching, that sense of community has followed and been a part of my DNA everywhere I went, teaching in Ohio before we then came here. And that's just always been a part of me to do that. So anybody who was in my classroom always said, hey, y'all are my knuckleheads. That's a term of endearment. If you need me, I got you. And if I can't do it, I'll do my best to lead you to somebody who can help you. I never want to BS anybody. I've been that way from the get-go. Because again, I always approached teaching, approached life, and approached my relationship with the folks I've had the privilege of teaching and also mentoring. I'm a teach and I'm a point from my weaknesses. When the strength avails itself, I'll speak from there as well. But typically, I always tell the folks and students, hey, I'm teaching from my weaknesses, and they became strengths later. So you can understand you don't have to always be strong.
For sure.
And understand it's a process to getting to become strong. Nobody lays on the bench and does 300 at first.
Correct.
They don't want to talk about when it was only a quarter on both sides. Not even a big plate yet, just a quarter.
Yeah.
If you went through it, then it got to be that big plate. Then, can I get to 185? Then it was 225. Somebody get to 305, but that's a process. So the sense of community has always been there for me. Definitely, though, when we moved to Florida, through the Boys and Girls Club.
That's what's up.
And a lot of us were still cool to this day.
Yeah.
Coaches, some have passed and gone on, but everybody gets together in our Facebook group for the Ybor City Boys and Girls Club, Tampa, Florida, and they know. So, and even all the other West Tampa, North Tampa, all of us, because we all grew up in that era of playing against each other through the Boys and Girls Club. We laugh now and look back, but we're all friends. We all had that sense of community. And speaking of what you said, there's so many kids now who don't have a Boys and Girls Club.
Absolutely.
Everything's AAU. And a lot of AAU coaches, if any of y'all watching, if this ain't you, don't be mad. But a lot of AAU coaches just looking for a payday.
Yeah, come on.
Looking for who's the one kid out there that's gonna make it that I can hopefully leech off of. That's not the same as what we experience.
That's not all of them.
No, that's not all.
We gonna caveat.
That ain't all.
But
it's far too many.
But it's more than it should be. Definitely more than it should.
For sure.
So that sense of community we had through the Boys and Girls Club, through school, it's a little different now. It's just a little bit different now.
The Boys and Girls Club was a place of refuge for me too, growing up in the neighborhood that we grew up in. Like, it was the unwritten rule, like, all of the players that was doing their thing, the drug dealers, all of that, the Boys and Girls Club was off limits. So it was always a safe space. And I remember, like, when I actually learned how to play ping pong and shoot pool at the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm nice in ping pong, if anybody I'm letting you know that now. But that was a huge part of the Boys and Girls Club played a huge part in my childhood too. And I remember even down to when the PlayStation 2 first came out, a lot of kids in the neighborhood couldn't afford a PlayStation 2. But the Boys and Girls Club bought a PlayStation 2 for the Boys and Girls Club. And the only rule was you had to have your homework completed and you had to bring it to the Boys and Girls Club with you when you sign up. Because everybody want to play, so you only get 30-minute intervals and you got to sign. I remember literally from the time we got off the school bus, I'm talking about full gallop. It's a foot race. Because we doing that homework on the bus just so we could sign up. So when the Boys and Girls Club opened up for the after-school activities, you ain't, and a lot of times the line was so long for the PlayStation 2, that's how I ended up playing ping pong and shooting pool, waiting until the PlayStation 2. But little stuff like that, it was a place of refuge. And for all of those drug dealers and stuff that was in the neighborhood, they were products of the Boys and Girls Club too.
Absolutely.
That's why that endearment was there. It's like we never had to worry about nothing at the Boys and Girls Club. You could go there and you knew that it was a safe space for you. So that, that part of it still hold true. And I think maybe the millennial generation is the last generation of that type of impact through the Boys and Girls Club. I don't know. I used to be very active with the Boys and Girls Club back in 2007 when I was finishing high school up to like 2011. I would do a lot of volunteer time with one of my friends and stuff like that. And it was always centered around creative arts, writing, poetry, rap, all of that. But just to just be a presence is important because, like you said, exposure do lead to expansion. One thing that I want to say, and I really, again, selfishly, I want to spend the next 2-3 hours talking to y'all, and I know I could, but we're going to keep the conversation going. For sure, this is not going to be a one-time thing. It's definitely going to be full circle. The way I want to finish it up is I want each of you to, if you could speak to your younger self, and you could pick whatever age that you want to speak to that version of yourself, what would you speak to that person? Obviously, it's something that you maybe need a couple moments to mull over, but what message would you say to your younger self? And then, in turn, pivot that conversation to the world at large that's listening.
That was a curveball I didn't see coming. Actually, the older I've gotten now and I'm entering, I like to jokingly say, I know I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. Actually, on a serious tip, on a money tip, the things that I know about handling money and dealing with money, and I think it's an issue that as a community we suffer from. I think it's getting better. But if in my 20s I had known how to just manage money like I know how to manage money now, I would, things would be a lot better for me and my, not just my family, my extended family.
Yeah.
Not just my immediate family, but my extended family.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a child out of the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah.
And my father was a hustler. He was hanging out on Auburn Avenue when Auburn was the black Mecca, the black Hollywood.
That was Dumbo.
Well, there's that little story I always tell people that my mother and father share with me. He being on Auburn at the time, so he and Martin King, all them kind of grew up together.
Right.
But Martin King, well, I said Martin King because that's what they called him. They called him Martin. They didn't call him Martin Luther. They called him Martin. And so my dad was, he was part of that crew. You know, he was moving and shaking. Him and his forward, you know, they got the suits on and the big hats and things, and they doing their thing. And in doing their thing, and particularly in the early 60s, when Martin and them got together and formed the SELC, Martin and them was going around the community trying to raise funds, get them some seed money to do their mission.
Correct.
And so he recruiting people too. Martin recruiting people. So, and my mother told me that he approached my father one time and said, "Hey Charles," his name was Charles Mullins. "Hey Charles, you want to?" Said my dad said, "No, man, you know we ain't that turn down the cheek crew. Let me throw you a little something. I put some on it. Yeah. Let me do that, man. Yeah. I can't. No, you know, cause you know they had them things and stuff. Yeah. You know they ain't so now. No, yeah. So again, he just didn't have the education to wrap this up. He didn't have the education from the money standpoint. Yeah. Opportunities weren't there, particularly for black men in the South in 1960, 1961, 62, 63, even here in Atlanta. Things weren't quite as bad and overt as they were one state over to our west. Yeah. But we had kind of progressive mayors and stuff back then, which is why Hartsfield Atlanta Airport exists through Mayor Ivan Allen. That was his vision, to have an international airport. Because one thing he did realize, he knew what commerce meant. Yeah. He knew what money meant. Yeah. And he knew how money would change everything for everybody, regardless of the color of their skin. Yeah. And that's a whole nother set.
No, we're gonna talk more.
But anyway, so from the money standpoint, until you got in school, and start making your own and trying to do things for yourself, and you young, and then you making from me growing up to my early 20s and said, now I'm getting money and stuff, and still don't know how to start. Correct. I'm enjoying myself.
Right. As you should.
I'm enjoying.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I just wish I had known, because fast forward to today, my nephew is he's middle management for Regional Bank. He's over about 40, 50 people. And he teaching his 19-year-olds at Georgia State, teaching them how to day trade.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of stuff is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because, he does a little of that, but he's a banker and he sees things and knows how the market fluctuates and how money moves things and put him at a certain lifestyle that he able to comfortably support his family and his loved ones.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd say, looking back at my younger self, it was 3 things I would say to my younger self real fast. Number 1 would be to ask more questions of my grandmother, my grandfather. Grandfather lived to be 103. My grandmother on my dad's side right now, she's currently 91. It would definitely be to ask more questions, just to know the family history. I would definitely love to know more. And I'm going to Indianapolis because that's where I was born. So I was born in Indianapolis, but going back home to sit down with my grandmother, she said, I need you to come and talk, about life insurance policy, the house and everything. So I'll be going there next month. I'm gonna ask some questions, just some things I don't know. My dad used to tell me a lot of things, but he left this plane 3 years ago. The second thing would be to network. But I definitely got to say, as a Black person, if we're going to network, you still have to always be very cognizant of who you're networking with.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's purpose, everybody's aim, especially for us, isn't necessarily always genuine.
Unfortunately,
so I would definitely say, ask more questions of the elders. Number 2, like I said, to network more. And the third thing would be, to the point of today's overall conversation about fatherhood, is to truly make sure you have a conversation with your partner on where y'all are going as you move ahead. And definitely, I want to say that financially. I remember my wife and I, before we got married, I was delaying getting married because my plan was, I want to pay off all my debt before we do this. But because she grew up in a family where everybody worked for General Motors, everybody made good money, they got paid every Friday, which wasn't my life. I'm like, nah, we need to get all this paid off. But her family's like, nah, y'all ain't got to wait, it's going to be okay. And I wish, not that I need to stick to my guns on that and not get married, but when we got married, we should have, I wish we could have really sat down or someone could have mentored us with handling the money and then having a game plan going forward. Because like you just said, we messed up a whole lot of money along the way because nobody gave us a roadmap. Not that there's one roadmap, but there's just foundational information, especially with dealing with money, that I wish everybody would have gave us. Like, hey, every year you can get your free credit report. You need to look at that thing. You need to be chopping it down, working on it. Just didn't get that and didn't really discover until we've been married almost just short of 10 years, I think, or right about 10 years, that our problem, as we start off as a young couple, right after our son was born in 2004, my wife was never taught how to save, but she always got. Because again, her family was getting paid every Friday. Me, I didn't have that same way, but I was used to sacrificing because I'm the oldest. I don't mind sacrificing. I remember a Christmas before we moved to Florida, my mom literally came and she said, okay, Toot, my nickname is Tudor. She said, Toot, what you want for Christmas? I said, no, I'll take care of, at that time it was Indian Topeka, my 2 sisters under me. And she went and bought them all types of stuff. I got a coloring book and a box of 8 crayons, but I was fine. So I'm used to not saving because nobody taught me to save because we didn't have money to save. And I'll go without. And so here it is. We created a different financial problem because my wife's used to spending. As a man, I want to provide for her. And I'm making poor decisions, which are putting us farther behind. So if I had 3 things to go back and speak to old young Lester about, it would be that. Number 1, ask more questions of your elders. Number 2, to network. And then 3rd would be to actually have a better financial plan. As we got into the adult life. Definitely those 3
I'm
things.
going to definitely tap you on that conversation.
Oh, that's powerful.
No, for sure.
For sure,
I need that.
I'm probably going to be pulled into a different direction, even though those finances are major plays in investing your money wisely. I would probably, and it's probably going to get me choked up, but don't rush. Don't rush to grow old. Take time, smell the flowers, listen so you make a mistake and learn something. More importantly, I wish in my later days, because my childhood is mostly a blur because of so many traumas. And then getting to where I was, I wish that I would have worked on my why. Your why is the most important thing you could ever embark on in your existence, is why, and seek it. I built my foundation of going within to figure this, and a lot of what we want to know is in us. God created us in His image and likeness. So ye too can do these miraculous things. So we just have to tap in within. And October 2023 was probably, I thought, was the hardest day of my life. I buried my mother, who was the rock and the foundation of our family. But how would I ever have known? Weeks later, I would lose my son to a gun. I almost lost my mind. Until I had to figure out another why. 3 beautiful little girls. So every day I get like this, I train. I train. I remember when I blew out my Achilles some years ago and BJ was still here, and I couldn't do a push-up. I had picked up all this weight. This was 2020. I was weighing about 315 pounds. And I went into the garage and my boys embarrassed me real bad. That workout was furious, and I told them, I said, give me 6 weeks. I said, give me 6 weeks. I had no idea why I was doing what I was doing, but I believe it was preparation for what I'm dealing with now. And I got on the floor and I was crying. I did a push-up and the struggle to get there. Now you talking about a man before I blew out my Achilles could do 100 straight push-ups. I lost it all, and I didn't give up. And that's the biggest thing that I'm speaking to whoever's listening to this. I don't care what challenges you are faced with in life, how hard, how tragic, always push forward. Never quit. Never quit. And I didn't. I went from 315 pounds to 254 pounds, 0.8 to this day. And for 7 years, it hasn't fluctuated back up to nowhere close to where I was before. And the reason why I shared that is you only get one of these. And
no do-overs.
You're supposed to take care of this temple. This is where all your knowledge lies.
Yes, sir.
What can I be to my grandbabies if I'm asking for an oxygen tank, or can you push me to the bathroom, or can you sit me on my bedpan? So my why became different, but my why became the pressures of my broken heart. And I had to dig deep and go within myself just to get to where I am today. And every day I wake up, I face that challenge of keeping my sanity.
Yes, sir.
My sanity comes from my training. Some days I work out and I'm good. Some days I work out, I'm crying like a baby because this is what me and BJ did. Every day we trained. And to lose a part of you, man, I don't wish this on the worst person in this life to have to face losing a child. And that was my namesake. So if there's anything I want anybody to leave with, this is, we all gonna visit that day. We all gonna have to experience it. But why not seek what God gave you to find out the capability of this body?
Absolutely.
So any day I get out there and I start training, I always push myself past tired.
Yeah.
Always. I wake up with the spirit of gratitude because I'm grateful for the 34 years that I got with my son.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for what he taught me because he opened my mind to a whole new world that I knew nothing about because I was trained. I was raised by baby boomers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go to work, you get an education, and you do well in life, and you be good.
Yeah.
But it's a little more to that.
Ain't quite that simple.
There's a lot more to that. And so when I began to use that attribute of listening, changed my life.
Absolutely.
Because I was raised by a father that military, fought in the World War II. And it's my way or the highway.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
For sure.
That wasn't right.
Yeah.
And so I had to retrain myself. I had a blended family at one point.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to be a father when I didn't even know what a father was. The only father I knew was as a little kid. My dad was a classic man. When I went somewhere with my dad, I was in a suit, a tailored suit to a 5-6-year-old.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. I didn't know that when you got to be a teenager, there was a different phase to this life that I got to start teaching you.
Yeah.
BJ and them got a trial in there.
Yeah.
But BJ and them respected their father because I did my best.
Absolutely.
And when some days I make a mistake, I taught them, you make your bed, you lay in it. And it applies to me too.
Yes, sir.
So I was quick to tell them, hey man, I messed up.
Yeah.
I failed that one.
Yeah.
I need you to charge that to the game and not my heart.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I meant.
Sure.
And that's how I had to go through this thing called fatherhood. Trial and error. And to see, I listened to what y'all said earlier.
Yes, sir.
And y'all started seeing the good as you got older of what your father was trying to do.
Absolutely.
When BJ died, I got so many inboxes in this chat from young ladies. Come on, my son, he was a womanizer. He loved women from all over the world. And the first thing that came out their mouth, your son always talked about you. How much he wanted to be like you.
Yes, sir.
He was so proud of the man you became.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's all right, man.
Rest in peace.
It's all right.
Rest in peace to DJ, bro.
Proud of you, man. You keep pushing this, man, because they need to see the different dynamics.
Yes, sir.
You have our elder here that's speaking knowledge, have an educator here, and you had somebody that they didn't think was going to be nothing, that became something.
Yes, sir.
And I strive to this day. Every day I wake up
Yes, sir.
to be better than I was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And I pride myself on that.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that, brother.
Show some love, baby. Show some love. You already know, baby. You already know. For sure. I stand on shoulders of giants, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of that. I'm aware I stand on shoulders of giants. With that being said, I gotta say rest in peace to BJ for sure. That was one of the homies for sure. Rest in peace to all the fallen fathers. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there. I appreciate every one of you for your time. Thank you for, entertaining my last minute request and making yourselves available because timing is important. But man, it's been a joy. It's been a joy. I greatly appreciate you all. This is The World According to K. Nels, and this part of my life is called Fatherhood. Thank you.